Hey guys, thank you so much for tuning in to another video. We do apologize for the wait. We know that many of you have been waiting for new videos to come out for quite some time now, and I'm glad to say that the wait is over. So let's jump into it immediately, and today we are making the arch pedestals. I have not done the cutting in this video for all the other parts that is already being cut, as you can see in the video. I'm only currently cutting the top parts, the top parts that goes above the pedestals. So now I'm drawing out the arch on the pedestal, on the side of the pedestal, and I'm getting the middle parts. As you can see, I'm drawing it out now, and I think I'll just bring a close up so you can see what that actually looks like. And this is exactly what it should look like. And if you got it like this, it doesn't need to be a specific size. The size can be dependent on what you want. The size can be dependent on how big you want it, how small you want it. But the important thing is the top section. You need to get the half, the middle, on all three sides, and so you can get the size of what your arch needs to be. And so now I'm cutting them out. I've already drawn out the arch on the bigger parts, so now I'm just cutting them out too. So yeah, I'm using a jigsaw because it is quite easy to do it with a jigsaw and a lot quicker, instead of trying to use a router, especially for such a small arch. As you can see, this is what it needs to. This is what the parts should look like. The longer parts, depending on how many pedestals you would like to make, it would be 4 parts per pedestal, and then plus the top part that goes right on top. So now I'm doing the assembling process. It's quite easy and quite simple. I'm using a compressor, a 50-liter compressor, using a nail gun. It's not, your nails doesn't need to be long, but if you don't have a compressor and you don't have a nail gun, you do not need to stress about that. You can always use panel pins or short pins, small pins, to attach this with a hammer. It's quite easy. Doesn't need to be a compressor with a nail gun. But as you can see, I'm using glue, and glue is very important, because if you are not going to use glue, your pedestal will fall apart sometime one way or another. It will definitely fall apart. But if you are using glue, wood glue, it will definitely hold, and it will last a lot longer, and you'll be a lot more satisfied with the sturdiness of the structure, and yeah, it will be a lot easier to handle. So once all my parts are assembled, I just put them out in the sun, or it doesn't necessarily need to be the sun, but wherever you put it, so it can dry out, the glue can set. You can even let it overnight, but I've just let it set for about 2 hours, an hour, 2 hours, and it's ready to go. So now I'm just filling up all my holes, every single gap, every single hole, I'm filling it up. And interesting enough, I'm using what is called body filler. Is what they use on cars when repairing a vehicle, repairing either dents or damages on a vehicle, most people use body filler, and I've figured out that when I use body filler, it's a lot less waiting period than wood filler, because when I put in wood filler, it takes about an entire day to fully set, completely set, and you know, we don't always have that time, especially when we are trying to get a product done and see the end result, so we can feel good about the project that we are working on. So body filler literally cures in about 5 to 10 minutes and then it's done. So this is why I use body filler instead of wood filler, unless I am using a natural or having a natural finish to the job or to the project, then I'll definitely be using wood filler, so that you won't be able to see the holes or see the parts where I filled in with the wood filler. But with the body filler, easy, because I'm spraying this, it won't be noticed, it won't be seen, so it's definitely the way to go, and this is definitely what I recommend you do. So now I'm just sanding it off. I'm using the grinder and the orbital sander, because this body filler gets quite hard and it's not always as easy to get it off with the orbital sander, because it takes a bit more time. So I use the grinder first, let it take off as much as possible, and then I finish it off with the orbital sander with a very fine sandpaper, about 240 grit to be exact. So yeah, and then I take the 240 piece and then I just flat it all the way around, especially on the corner, so that it can have a smooth finish, so that it's not too rough or too sharp for clients when they handle these pedestals. So now I'm doing the spray work, and I'm also using the compressor once again. You do not need to have a compressor. You can always paint it by hand, you can roll it with a roller, you can paint it with a paintbrush. It totally depends on you, but because I do have the compressor, this is something I would choose to do instead of doing it by hand, because it's a lot quicker. I'm not hands-on physically with the paint, so this is a lot easier for me, and this is what I prefer doing. But if I did not have the compressor, I would have definitely painted it by brush and by roller, first rolling it all the way around and then using the brush on parts that I could not get with a roller, like in all the corners and so forth. But in this video I didn't do the entire 3 coats. Normally I do 3 coats, and in this video I only did 1 coat. The other coats I did afterwards, so I do apologize, I did not show that, but I just thought for the time and the video sake, I did not want to make this video too long for that particular reason. And yeah, so there we go. So once the first coat is done, you definitely need to flat it afterwards. Otherwise, if you're going to do the first coat, second coat, third coat, it will still be rough. But if you are going to flat it everywhere, in all areas, all the surfaces, flat it with a 240 grit, then you'll definitely be having a much better finish by your second and third coat. So here's the final result. I hope you guys like it. Let me know what you think.